Hi, my name is Nikki Haverstock and I am a cozy mystery author, and I decided to start this series on firearms for fiction writers when I started answering some questions for friends and I realized the difficulty of trying to Google for information regarding firearms without having a basic knowledge. And realistically, as writers, we want our work to be accurate, but we don't really have weeks and months to immerse ourselves in every single topic. So my emphasis that I'm going to be covering is firearms for fiction writers, facts and sort of some flavors, some little bits of information you can kind of sprinkle through your work to make it seem more authentic. If you are a gun enthusiast looking for reviews, if you are thinking of taking up firearms, looking for a gun for concealment or home protection, this is not the right channel for you. This is not the right series for you. This will be totally wrong. My emphasis is going to be sort of maybe mystery writers, suspense writers, thrillers. I will not be covering police procedures or military procedures. First off, I just don't have experience in it. I'm not military, neither is my husband, we're not law enforcement, and there's a ton of great resources if you want to know. It's relatively easy to find out what is a standard issue sidearm for the Chicago Police Department. It's a little bit harder to kind of figure out what kind of weapon would Joe Schmo use. How would he refer to it, that kind of thing. And that is what I'm going to be covering. So that is this whole series in general is going to be covering. And this first specific video is the categories of guns, sort of the sub-classifications of firearms in the most general sense. This would be the equivalent of me saying, I'm going to talk to you about cars, and I'm going to explain the difference between a truck, an SUV, and a minivan, or something like that. That is the level we're starting with, and then we'll be going through, hopefully, additional topics like ammo, what is fully automatic, what's the difference between clips and magazines, when would you use the different terms. And one of the ones I'm most excited about, which is gun handling, which is if you handed an experienced person a gun, what would they immediately do so they don't shoot themselves in the leg? Okay, so we're going to start with, we have just a few examples of the categories of guns. We have our long guns, which are long, and we have our handguns. So in the long gun category, we have shotguns and rifles, okay? Both of these have the butt of the stock is placed against the shoulder. Usually, generally, the face is pressed up against, in there, and you shoot it from a standing, a laying down, or off of a table, okay? The shotgun uses shotgun shells or shells, and I'll go over ammo additionally in the future. Now, a shotgun shell can have a single slug, it can have a number of small projectiles. This is deer shot or buckshot. There's also bird shot. You can have salt. You can have, a whole variety of things. But all of them are sort of in this shape. There's a plastic thing. When it's shot, this sprays open and out comes your projectiles and are shot through. Okay. In general, shotguns are shot using, you have a bead up front. You shoot it. Rifles, on the other hand, use a bullet just like our handguns do, okay? And they can also have like an iron sight, which is just, two and then kind of one, and you kind of, where's it? It's that way. Sorry. So, and this is the view you would have as the shooter, would be this way. And you line them up and you roughly shoot it. Some of your handguns do as well, or most of your handguns actually. But rifles can also have scopes, such as this one, which can range from a couple $100 to probably as much as you want to spend on a scope. Okay, so these are your long guns in your long gun category. You have your shotguns, you have your rifles. Now, just to be clear, within these categories, we have manufacturers. Within the manufacturers, we have models. So there's Berettas, this is Remington, that sort of thing. So these are categories. You would say, he was carrying a rifle, he grabbed a shotgun, that kind of thing. Now in our handgun category, handguns are held in the hand. Boom, so easy. We have two examples here. We have a semi-auto and we have a revolver. Revolver is pretty common for police work, as well as like, this is not an old-timey cowboy gun, but it could be. They have a cylinder. Can you see this little round cylinder? Comes out, you load from behind like that. When you're all done, you have to push them out. We'll go into all of these guns in a little bit more detail, but this is just to give you an overview. And your semi-auto has a magazine, and we'll go into magazines a little bit more in the future. So that is your basic categories of firearms.